Welcome to the Pirate Investor. Hi, investors. It is May 2024. Time to check the state of the economy, so you can make your decisions. Let's check our graph, and see how the economy looks today. This graph shows data from 2003 until today. The black line represents the price of the world's biggest companies. The blue area represents the US interest rate, and the gray bars, the crises. At this moment, the price of the biggest companies is high, the black line is high, compared to previous months. It is only down 4% from its maximum value. The US interest rate, the blue area, is also high compared to previous months. It was 0% until March 2022. It started to grow, forming an interest wave. It reached 5.5% in July 2023, and it has been flat since then. That is, 5.5% for the last 9 months. A high interest rate is a warning sign, since it puts pressure on the economy. Paying debts becomes more difficult. But at the moment, we are not in any crisis or recession. There is not any gray bar, like those in 2008 and 2020 crises. We are not in a recession because the U.S. economic production, that is, the U.S. GDP, has been positive recently. This is good. It means the economy is strong, so debt can still be paid. U.S. unemployment is low, 3.8%. It has been low since it went down, after being high during the COVID crises. Now, there are jobs everywhere. This is good for all of us, and for the economy. Finally, U.S. inflation, the rate at which prices grow yearly, is at 3.5%. Some months ago, it was high, but now, it is coming down, nearing the target rate set by the economic authorities, that is, a rate considered to be best for the economy, around 2%. That is good for the economy. Hence, authorities don't have much pressure to rise the interest rate further, which would make the inflation go down more quickly. In conclusion, the economy is in good shape, pirates. The only warning sign is the high interest rate. No one can predict if that will lead to a crisis, but it puts pressure on the economy. What do you think? Are we about to enter a crisis? Is the economy in good shape? Leave a comment or question, and the pirate will reply. As always, we will remain vigilant, and check again next month. Make sure to subscribe, if you want to be notified. If you are new to the Pirate Investor channel, find out more about us watching the presentation video, and the map video, and if you like it, join our crew. If you are not new, you know how we picture the economy in pirate terms. Here is how our economic sea looks today. Waves are high, because the interest rate is high. And that is the main warning sign. Except that, everything else is great. It is not raining because the price of the biggest companies didn't drop too much from its max, only 4%. We can sail without much worry. But no one knows what the future hides. We will discover it together as it comes. The Pirate Investor specializes in investing during crises. We will sail the next one together. Those will be interesting times. But, since the crisis is not here yet, for now, let's get ready for it. Let me introduce you to the 3 investors. The 3 different ways of investing, we are going to analyze in detail, in our next videos. They are the emotional investor, the constant investor, and the pirate investor. The emotional investor is an investor who tends to follow the hype. He lets his emotions control his investing decisions. If stocks are growing and everyone is making money, he feels fear of missing out, and buys. If stocks are falling, he freezes. When they are down, and everyone is selling in panic, he thinks that is the end of the world, and sells. The constant investor is the opposite. He is cold-minded, disciplined, and every month, he invests the same amount, no matter what others, or the markets say. He does not let any feeling, news, or data, influence his strategy. If you are not new to investing, the constant investor strategy is a very common and successful strategy. Investing the same amount every month is what they call dollar cost averaging, or DCA. Finally, the pirate investor, our main character, is like the constant investor, but, during crises, when the price is down, if the interest rate is down too, is when he finds its treasure, a good moment to invest, and he invests more. These three different investors invest in the same product, a global index. A very common investing product, the MSCI World Index, which is well diversified, and has very low fees. Alternatively, it could also be an index on the lead economy, the US. For example, the famous SP 500 index. The main idea is that they invest in a diversified index, that includes hundreds of the biggest companies in the lead economy, many of which are also the biggest in the world. One company can fail, but it is very unlikely that all of them fail at the same time. In this adventure, the three investors will have the same investing capacity, $200 per month. And an emergency fund of $20,000. Saved for an unplanned expense, an illness, or the loss of a job. The constant investor never invests any money from this fund, because he is strict and disciplined. However, the emotional investor, and the pirate investor, might use the emergency cash for investing, if they see an opportunity. When a crisis goes deep and news are bad, the emotional investor thinks it is the end of the world, and sells. But the constant investor and the pirate investor believe that those indexes will grow. And if they go down, in a crisis, they will always recover from it, and grow higher than before. Just like they have done, in the past 70 years. With that, at the present moment, the emotional investor would be trying to invest more, since things are going very well. The constant investor would be constant as he is. And the pirate investor would be constant too, since we are not in a crisis. Would you like to see them in action in a crisis, and see how each one ends up? Wait for our next video about how they would invest in the 2020 COVID crisis. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like this content. See you in the next episode.